Happy birthday!
Hello, everybody. Happy birthday. God damn it.
And I marry you.
I love it.
Someone's birthday out there.
You know, it is. It is, in fact. It is, in fact. Certainly not mine, but that's all right. Guys, it's...
Be a Cancer, right? That's early July, Cancer.
Is that? I don't actually know. I'm not on the up and up.
You're emotional. You need lots of love. You need to tell me your feelings. I understand.
Okay, so what if I'm not, then? What if I'm not that? What if I'm instead an Aries? What does that say? He's like, I don't fucking know. I know just the one.
No, I know a bunch of them. Aries is one that I don't know that well,
okay.
Actually.
All right. I'm a March birthday for sure. All right, cats. Yeah, March 22nd, actually. Yeah, it's wild.
You are...
I'm a Sagittarian, so I don't believe in that shit.
I'm a Sagittarius.
Perfect. That's what we like seeing. All right, guys. It's been a couple of weeks since we played last, and that's all right. Situation is, well, where do we leave last? I think we can sum a lot of this up fairly quickly. There were some hard conversations, right? And then it led to a decision to meet with Gorovin. Who can catch me up? Give me some details. Let's pretend as if I have not been running this game for months, years.
Tripp came back to the wall, and they kind of had a quick rundown of whether or not he was going to go back into Pevrin's body. Ultimately, we kind of all agreed it was a no. During that time, however, found out that Rye can see Tripp in his spectral form, but like past like the Wraith shade, he can see his like actual like outline, and he can hear him talk, but no one else can, without hearing the gutter speak that kind of emanates from him.
Right. I mean, Imperial Misty can as Temerity, but it does require some spell casting. What do you think that's about? Why can he hear it?
He's dead, or almost died, or is dead. One of the above.
One of the above for sure.
Perhaps someone has my soul.
Perhaps someone does have your soul. What's the speculation though?
He licked death's teeth.
Wow. Oh God, that's a weird image to paint there.
He died himself at some point, or he himself is in a state of undeath.
In a state of undeath, for sure.
I like to think I'm sort of like Harry Potter-ish, where like I can see the undead horses, you know, like the ones that carry the students to Hogwarts in one of the movies. Right?
Okay.
Like it's like him and Luna are the only ones who can see it.
The Dementors?
No, not they're like horse creatures.
Oh, God.
And they can only see them because they had like brushes with death.
Is that what it's called? It's called a thestral?
I don't know what they're called. I just remember it vaguely from the movie.
Right.
I don't understand half the shit Luna Lovegood says, so.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you've had a touch with death, and that was explained even further so by Gorovin.
Real quick.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Are you guys hearing the lightning outside?
No.
Through
Negative.
my mic? No?
Nope.
Okay.
You don't hear lightning, you only hear thunder.
You're absolutely right.
I don't see the lightning as well, though.
Did you hear the thunder then?
I can smell it.
Damn.
You want a little lightning, a little thunder?
Perfect. So you decided. Why did you decide to go to Gorovin? Like, I feel like half of you guys are on the fence to talk to this guy.
To see if they can give Pevrin some help, keeping him warded from spirits entering him.
Yeah, and your reasoning behind this, like, let's take the child to the guy that we potentially believe is a necromancer.
Well, that's not the reason. It's because he has a bunch of children that we hope he's protecting.
Yeah.
And maybe we were thinking that he could do that with Pevrin, but he was like, no, get that kid out of here.
Mm.
He's like, that kid's a bacon.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is, in fact. He did say that. But why exactly? Like, what? There was something more. It was more than just about, like, getting him out of there. You think it's entirely about protecting the kids?
No, probably not. I think it was because the amount of spirits that would be drawn to that place, like he couldn't keep out. Like the ward repel, like hides and repels spirits, but Pevrin
He
draws
specifically
like a
said he would have to redo all of his wards.
yeah, specifically to make sure that Pevrin was included, or the seals around Pevrin were included with his or something like that.
Didn't he say there was some sort of bracelet or something that's on the kids that are like
No, yeah, that's we've already seen that at the beginning. They're little elemental.
Yeah,
I was
I'm just
about to
saying,
get
like,
one.
Yeah, but he wants my finger. Did all the kids have their finger cut off?
Yeah, I
Like,
was just going to say, like, what
No.
the kids had to sacrifice.
I
No.
didn't see
Oh.
that.
None of them
Let's
had to make
take
that
time.
sacrifice because they spent the many months communing with
I
With-
see. Okay.
with him further, as
The
opposed
many
to being
months
like
communing.
Look, one
Or
commune
he's
with
trying
me,
to psych you
that's
out.
like many months.
that, or maybe he just wants your thumb for some reason, or your fingers. Like maybe that's his thing.
What a fucking creeper.
Yeah,
I don't want to know what you're gonna do with my finger.
Maybe this is a test. You have to say no.
what do you think Eli would do with Oz's finger?
I don't
I'd pick my
know.
teeth.
Wow. Okay. All right.
After eating a child.
So what did you learn? What did you learn from Gorovin specifically? There were a couple of different things.
Deep dwarves were using like magic or stone or some blood ruin to control things as a battery.
Okay.
But it's probably been kind of depleted because we saw those things around Harrowstone, but I don't know. Still.
He wants us to bring him Benjamin's body so he can
Yeah, he wants he wants it pretty bad too.
Mm-hmm. His beady little eyes lit up when I told him it.
He was willing to pay for it. Pay pretty handsomely as well. Because he had no
Any
idea.
person that says off the bat, no matter what, bang, big money, like they want it for more than that money.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, Let me ask you this. I wonder if anybody remembers this. Why is he in town? Why is someone of his capability hiding away in this this
He
backwater?
retired, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he did retire.
And he is basically going to be making this school.
He's trying to get his wife's soul, that reanimate his wife, and her soul is like trapped. He called it there. They can't pass over.
Yeah. That's particularly why he stepped here, is because no one could pass over.
So if our sheriff is dead and keeps coming back, growing back into form perhaps, maybe he wants access to that growth so he can do that to his wife.
Maybe.
That's a safe assumption.
It was kind of like he wished he didn't do what he did to his wife. But now there's no turning back because he kind of already...
What Torvin thinks is
Literally
this
smoked her.
person is or could be a very useful ally in a time where we basically have no allies.
Yes.
Like the thing with him is that I found, like, you may not get the help you want, but you'll get maybe some help that you need. So I don't know. I feel like anytime we've gone to him, it's always kind of turned out good for us, you know? So
Says the guy who
even-
smoked his wife.
I'm just saying, even if he doesn't do exactly what we
Wet
wanted,
ingrown.
he's usually pretty helpful. I mean, at the least with information. So I don't know. Rye feels like he is capable, you know, and probably
He
one of the
also
few-
has cool orbs.
yeah, like I don't know, he's like one of the few Rye likes
Dude.
capable people, and he's one of the few capable people in town. Everybody else seems kind of useless. Well, not
And he's
everybody.
confident. He's
Yeah,
very
Dorfel
confident
was
about
capable.
Right.
that. Dorfa was capable. She was, in fact.
Yeah, was.
Look, chat did it.
Didn't even rob her properly.
Until she took a chat to the knee.
Chad to the knee.
Now, was it really Chat's fault? Like, I'm not playing devil's advocate here, but did Oz really have to scan for magical weapons that he couldn't afford with his 9
You
gold?
gave me a magical addiction.
I mean, there's that.
Of course, yes.
Well, I mean, I
And
didn't
then
tell
you
you
put
that
me
there
in a
was magic
room with
about.
potentially a bunch of magic items. Yeah, I'm gonna look.
Potential. I like that. I like how quickly you went over that word, the potential magic items.
Well, yeah, I don't know. He had to know. He was curious. He was like, "Are these magical?"
Okay.
So yes. The answer is yes. Right, Lucy?
Meow. Yeah. Poor Luce. Poor. You know what? Poor Oz. Poor Jorfa. Poor Zokar. So he's decided to stay around. Gorovin is stuck in this town. He's going to be here for how long? What do you think he's hoping to do? Does he just remake his wife and then bail?
No, because she's like stuck there, isn't she?
He did say specifically something that you were right, Maggie, when you said that he has like some regrets.
Regrets.
Yeah. Knowing that he has some sort of regret.
I mean,
what
he
do you think
brought
is-
her here specifically
Like
because
the
he could
school
bring
is his
her
redemption.
back.
Sort of, in a way, yeah.
Like he's doing good now.
Or he's trying
And
to.
before, not so much. But now more so.
He's trying to, for sure. So Oz is at the behest of this man's blade. He specifically asked for not just blood. What does he want exactly and why?
Artemis
Wants her
Digit.
pinky.
I mean, you can just grow it back with a spell.
True. That's why you kept the feathers, right?
Hmm.
You don't really need that part of your pinky anyway. Like, what do you do with that? You know what? I don't know what Oz does with that part of his pinky. Don't
No,
answer that.
don't, no.
Don't answer that.
It's like,
He's a chef. He makes food.
Yeah, but like you'll still
You're
have
a
the
He's
rest
the
of
one
them.
used to
I
doing the
don't wanna
chopping.
People don't really know this, but people used to count on their fingers up to 12. They used to count the notches, so it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how people used to count back in the day. So she won't be able to go to 11.
Oh, well. I mean, it's a surprise, I suppose. You do have another hand, though. Oz is intelligent, though. Oz is more than capable. Oz has got toes as well.
No, she needs that pinky to get to 12.
Oh,
Absolutely.
noted. Okay.
Yeah,
Noted.
there's no way.
No way.
I'm gonna have
without
my
that full
hand,
pinky.
Oz. I just
Don't
need
offer
this.
your eye.
I just need this grappling hook as an arm.
Damn. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, yes, it ended last time, specifically with the raise of a blade to bring it down upon the hand. In a
Yeah,
specific
and he
location.
said I had to watch it. What a creeper. He's a sadist, man.
Is he?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to look. And he's like, you got to look.
He guided
he's
your head.
already lost a pecker. This is already bad. I
He's just a
mean,
practical guy, you know?
He's a pretty practical guy, yeah. Besides, like, Oz, you are addicted to magic?
I know, that's why I agreed to him fucking chopping my finger off, okay?
that's a finger. You won't be able to put a magical ring on. I'm just saying.
I can't put that many magic rings on anyway. 'Cause you can only bind a certain amount of items anyway, so.
You could technically put on as many magical rings as you want if they're all activatable.
They
if they're
just
static.
wouldn't all be activated,
Yeah.
yeah.
If they're static.
That's true,
then
fair.
Technically, you just be like,
I could also just keep putting them on the same finger.
it's true. It's true.
You know, stack. Gotta have that nice ring stack, okay?
Oh no. Oz out here. It's like, how many? Oz is he's just gonna formulate the goblin gangster.
Just, you have so many rings that you can't even, like, bend your fingers. They're
Well,
just,
I'm
like,
just,
always,
you
like,
know.
stuck like this.
Just throwing it out there, but, you know, fingers aren't the only thing rings can go on.
Truth.
True.
Yeah, ears and noses.
And lips.
And lips, eye,
Tongues?
eyebrows. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Eyebrows?
nipples.
Toes.
Oh,
I
gonna
have a
say
lot of
wiener
ear
toes.
space. Oz has big ears. He could put a lot of
I have
of rings on those
nipple
ears.
space.
Yeah, a lot of nipples. I'm part cat.
I don't think goblins have that many nipples though. They probably just have two.
I like how you said, I don't think. Not a lot of confidence.
I'm
in
like
that.
thinking about goblins.
You're like-
He's a hobgoblin. I don't think he has he just has two nipples
You
probably.
know, I'm
They got-
not
they
sure
got
about the
4.
anatomy, but
They got
Sure.
4.
If you
No, they
pierce
don't. They have
Temerity's
two.
floating nipple, would it carry the
Maybe
ring with
that's
it?
the difference
Oh, yeah.
between goblins and hobgoblins, and that's the number of
Mm.
nipples they have.
No, hobgoblins are just bigger.
Like bigger nipples.
Bigger nipples.
That's how you identify. Actually, like, is it a goblin or a hobbit? Whoa, look at this. That's a dinner plate.
That's a
That's
6-inch.
definitely
That's a hobgoblin.
yeah, those are pretty puffy. Those
Oh.
are hobgoblins.
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
Good lord.
You
Off the
know,
reins
when
already.
they look like pepperonis, that's when
Yeah,
you
there
know.
you go. Yeah,
Why is one blue?
look like the top of 2 mushroom,
Oh
toadstools.
my god.
Good lord. Okay.
Sorry.
It's totally fine. This is very much on brand for this location. It's what I would expect. So, anything else that we feel like we may have missed from our last sesh?
I was very edgy and talked shit to everyone.
Okay.
I don't remember specifically what I said, but it cut everyone to the core.
But you did some real emotional damage.
Yeah.
And we
did.
may not feel it now, but
You will.
It'll be devastating.
We're gonna be in the middle of something. I'm gonna go, oh God, I'm suddenly demoralized. Guys, I don't think I can keep fighting. I just realized what Eli said to me.
That's what I do. I pep up the group. It's my job.
Other than our timetable of getting back to the prison because of the
Warden.
warden potentially having a stronger soul conduit to ride around in. Not
That was
much
the
else.
previous episode.
True. I'm just reiterating like the current status of like why we're going. Yeah,
Hey,
but
can
that's
we actually insert Tripp into that replicator? Get out another Tripp. If
possible.
it works for the
You want two
For the
trips?
sheriff.
I don't think you want two.
no, then we have one Tripp in his own body.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's like if there's a spirit inhabiting that the body that they worked on in the prison, if he gets ejected, I might be able to go into it.
Right.
But we don't know. We haven't tried anything yet.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's where we're at.
If only we knew a necromancer.
If only. You might have a guy.
See, if
So,
we can get all the things to align, everything's going to be great. We just got to get them to align.
so I have some information here for you guys. You do, in fact, have, at this point, a single card, a Harrowstone card that has been drawn. Its effect, to be determined. I can tell you, but I'm going to tell you in the moment when I feel like it's going to have the most dramatic moment. So I'll show you what the card is. In fact, I think we may have even had this previously. Your card is called the Bear.
Aw.
The Bear. Yeah, let me show you here.
I feel like
So
I
for my
have
players.
a sound effect for
I
this.
love
Let's
bears.
see.
Oh, that's like a really fun bear too.
Yep, the Bear. And for
Kinda like
those
a Malu bear.
that are watching at home, there it is. There's the card, the Bear. Tima, question mark?
I can barely take it. Put a pause on that talk.
It brings love to Harrowstone. It certainly might. So things that... Okay, all right. I can tell you this much right now. The Bear brings about a turned or cursed event, but it yields great reward. With that in mind, I'm going to cue the moment when I believe that we have to up the ante. We have to make it a bit more extreme.
Yeah, because cutting my finger off isn't enough for Bub.
No, No, I'm here for blood. I'm sorry. Well, technically,
Well, it's
Corvin.
just to cut off something else, apparently.
Whoa, hey now.
I've got a spare nipple.
Oh God, no.
I only need one.
Oh,
I don't
Perfect.
know
What
what
do you even
for.
need the one for? Yeah, I was like, what
Just
are you using
in
the other one
case.
for?
just in case,
Oh,
right?
okay. All right.
Okay.
In case something requires another nipple.
Maybe I find a goblin baby that's teething. I don't know. Like,
And what are you gonna do with it? Put it on your
Yeah.
Like, what is the
Yes.
nipple gonna solve? Okay.
it's gonna calm that goblin baby right down so that we can escape the cave.
So you can smash it when it's not looking.
Exactly.
Aw, little baby gobbos.
Okay, let's
Disgusting.
grab.
You just said you were gonna save them
Disgusting.
and let it feed on your.
Out of character.
Okay. All right.
Please don't. Please don't.
OOC.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, by the way, if you feel like there's ever a moment, I'm not sure if I've ever explained this or if anybody else has had this at your table, but if you ever feel like right in the middle of roleplay, you have something to say that's like, instead of Zokar asking, Bub's got to ask. You at tables most of the time you have like a symbol or something like a card or something you can hold up. I usually just do this. It's a finger cross. Everybody has their own thing, but if you have something like moment, question, timeout, does this have this effect? Then just let me know and we can make that happen.
Cool. I'm just gonna go.
I'm gonna ignore it.
Time.
I'm just gonna ignore that the whole time.
It's gonna be my call.
Is it?
I'm gonna not ignore it.
Please don't. Why do
She'd
you
be
do
like,
this to me?
I'm just gonna be like, hey.
I'm gonna be like, that's my
Oh
butt.
my God.
Oh
Maggie,
God,
why are you
no.
making faces for? What's wrong with you?
All right.
Wild's making me so hot over here.
I know. He's like so bundled up.
It looks like he's about to lead a group of reindeer through the forest.
Oh, it's great.
Where you last left off,
Ooh.
you were sitting across the table. The man in front of you, aged and educated in such a way that it would bring about at least that feeling as if you were being watched, that you're out of control. You're in his home, and you've entrusted him with not only a knife, but potentially your future. You have no idea what he's capable of. And he said to you, outstretch your finger, and will only be the pinky's tip. And you've trusted that. You believe, Oz, that he is going to bring about the beginning of a ritual, one that will likely hurt a fair amount. This ritual will allow you to commune with what he believes is a greater elemental lurking beneath the surface of this town of Ravengrow. You turn so that you don't have to see, and he draws up a 4-fingered hand. Well, 3 fingers and a thumb. And tells that you cannot look away, child. And you see that just before he brings down the knife. This is where I'm going to pass this buck to you, Maggie. I want you, with knowledge in mind that you have a practicing necromancer and master of evocation, trying to give you the ability to magically conjure and commune with an elemental that has been shackled to the land. He's crossing the weave of magic because something locked this elemental here. And he's open communion at the cost of the bone in your finger, at least the tip of your finger. I want you to explain to me, as he's bringing down this knife, what the rest of this ritual looks like. And this is where I'm calling our hero card this evening. Maggie, you have to take it to an extreme. You can offer more or less, but it will yield different results. At great cost, yield great reward. So the bear, my hero card of the evening, the bear, is in play at this moment.
Okay.
So it unfreezes
Wow.
in that
All
moment, correct. It unfreezes in this moment, and you see his hand raised and he's prepared to bring down the knife. What do you do?
Yeah, he said he's gonna take the tip of the pinky, but I think what happens is Oz kind of moves forward and he takes the whole entire pinky, like right up to it. And as soon as the knife kind of touches the bone, you can all hear like the slicing and the crunch, and the finger comes off. But the finger, as it's like being removed, it starts like decaying at a faster pace, and you just see like the skin start rotting and the blood congeal like much faster than it would, almost like it's aging and it's, dying. And Oz, where his finger was, you'd expect there to be like blood gushing everywhere, but you kind of see what looks like little crystals of red, almost like an element, kind of close in and cauterize the wound.
And what happens as that finger begins to decay, leaving the bone? Does the bone fall to the table? Does it hit the floor beneath where your finger has just been cut?
Yeah. I think you hear it as a thud on the floor, and it kind of draws your eye, and that's when you start seeing it decaying. Slowly. Well, faster.
Tripp, Rye, Torvin, and Eli. Temerity even. Gathered around, waiting just to see exactly what this is going to look like. You see Oz jerk in that moment, and instead of pulling back out of fear, Oz leans into this. And it just clips it away, removing the entire pinky finger. Perhaps it was the way that Gorovin had grabbed his jaw, revealing that he was missing his finger as well.
And I think Oz kind of like, when you're like on the edge, you're like holding the edge of a table.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of like moves in to hold, like kind of grip the table, and that's why his like full pinky goes in instead. Like to brace himself, as he's like, I guess I gotta watch this.
There's no blood. You almost instinctively reach forward, but no blood is drawn. What happens here with Eli and Torvin, Rye and Tripp?
It's just this magic nonsense.
Oz, can I get a fortitude save, please?
Sure.
I'm keeping all my fingers today, thank you.
12.
Oz, it weakens you. There is this brief moment here where it's the thought of something that just hits right, like the pain is there for sure. Lose 1 hit point.
Okay.
The pain is there, but it's something much more. It's a mental thing. You realize quickly that you don't actually feel bleeding. You don't feel the heat running down the opposite hand or smearing down the length of the table. Instead, you glance as you try to apply pressure, and you can see that the blood itself begins to harden and crack over multiple times before it forms what looks to be a mottled stump. Your skin binding tightly in a way that it looks like it's attempting to cauterize itself. And you're not certain if it's the magic. You're not certain if it's something in you. But what you're certain of is the face that Gorovin is making is one of surprise.
Hmm.
Can I get a reflex, please, from Tripp, from Rye, from Torvin, and Eli?
Can do.
Very good. Torvin out of here. Light on his feet.
Flex.
Eli, the exact opposite. Right with a 19. And Silwith Ashworth. Tripp, 17. Rye, Silwith, and Torvin. With haste, you quickly maneuver back. As the world around you begins to almost change, you see Oz sitting there. But there's a brief moment where the table begins to erupt and shake. You see the old man kind of push his chair back as he leans away from the event, and then suddenly, Earth begins to rise up around Oz and grab hold, creating a cage with zero orifice. Oz, you're surrounded in darkness. There is nothing here. The only thing that you hear is your heartbeat. You gasp on for life. You retreat for breath. But you can't. When your mouth opens, you feel stone, pebble, and dirt roll into your maw. The sounds of the world dampen around you, and you can hear it yet again as it seems to draw you forth, pulling you away. The earth shifts, and so do you. Before where you are, it's in a place where your vision doesn't matter, where you hear the pressure around you. The sound of your own heartbeat is enough to emit these long length waves. You hear this like almost palpable, like over and over again, before you inevitably hear another noise. A long, low, drawn-out growl, one of gravel, holds. Do you do anything? Do you say anything, Oz? You have some freedom of movement.
I mean, he's in pain, right?
No, you're in panic. Not in pain.
Okay, so I'm not like in pain for my hand. I'm just like freaking out because I can't breathe.
Yes.
Can I talk if I can't breathe?
You can try.
I think he tries to like shout something, but I don't know if it'll come out.
Okay. What do you shout? What do you try to shout?
He's probably just like, I guess I'm like freaked out. You said I'm not in pain for my finger. I'm more like freaked out.
Correct.
He's probably like trying to be like, what's happening? I don't know what's going on.
Nothing seems to emit from your voice, with your mouth filled with pebble and stone. And you can feel your throat beginning to tighten up. You can feel your lungs beginning to build a pressure amidst you. But you hear the sound of your inside voice, inside of your own head, before you feel that yet again, with that tumble and rumble around you. This time another voice comes to you. One that you're not familiar with. It speaks in a tongue that is familiar to you, at least as far as you can tell.
I can help. I am here.
And then the other yet again.
What do you ask?
You can distinctly tell that they're two different targets, two different, maybe even species.
Recognizing that there's like different, I'm possibly talking to two different people. So you're saying like when I'm talking, I hear it in my head, kind of like it's not actually like projecting out of my mouth.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I think Oz kind of thinks to himself and is like, well,
Butter my butt and call me a biscuit. There's more than one of you in here.
There are many. We are but shale. Husk of the greater.
Am I one of you now?
No. No, you are not.
And again, it rolls again at the mention, the idea that you are one of them. And it waits.
Can I see anything, or is it still dark?
It is still dark, yes.
I was gonna try to like really concentrate and try to see if he can see something or like hear where things are moving around him.
Do you cast a spell?
Do I have to cast a spell? Can I?
You don't have to.
I think he's just trying to perceive first what he can.
Well, give me a perception.
19.
It is very difficult to see. Even with dark vision, you are capable of seeing so many things, but you're in an area that is, one, entirely devoid of light. There's not a low light situation whatsoever, which wouldn't normally be a problem. But it's almost devoid of shape, and it changes the way that you perceive the world around you. It's a small space, not quite as vacuous, not quite as open as you had intended. But where you sort of move, you see that the earth shifts around you.
So I can kind of see the earth moving around.
Yes.
Is that you moving around?
Yes, it is. I speak so that it may live on, locked. I cannot move far.
You're trying to keep something here?
It wishes to be free. It wishes so very much to be free.
Well, why can't it be free?
Something binds. Something harder than stone.
Do you need my help?
You cannot help.
Well, how do you know that? We just met.
Do you suggest that you are stronger than it?
You know, I don't know how strong it is.
Give me a will save.
All right. Oh my god, 17.
Your mind is like pervasively fed with these memories of something that's far beyond. You see what looks to be like an open area that almost has this like lingering smoke, a mist, and it is devoid of ground, where the camera sort of shifts and pulls in multiple places. You hear the sounds of water around you, but you never quite hear the sound of feet hitting soil, hitting stone. But then you hear that eruption, almost like that of a volcano, just splitting around and creating and birthing a world around you. But where your eyes sort of connect to that light, where you might see what looks to be like a volcano erupting, instead you see the birth of something truly, truly momentous. Now, you've read of creatures, dragons the size of some of the largest buildings, and unnatural creatures that dwell in the darkest places. But this is something that you can't quite comprehend. Distance is a sketchy thing here. You can't quite gauge just how large it is. But every time it steps down from this lava font, the stone around it doesn't quite show what looks to be like a foot, but as it's climbing out of the mouth of this volcanic eruption, it steps down and you hear, after a few seconds, that and then what looks to be a wave roll. And it takes 15, 20 seconds before that water ripples up to hit you. Comparable even to current times. It's larger than some of the largest buildings. Skyscrapers can't even quite touch this.
So I'm only just seeing like its leg.
Yes, like stepping out, like a hand coming out and trying to pull itself.
What is it? What does it look like? Is it like lizardy?
It's
fuzzy?
It looks almost like a column of dirt and stone.
Oh, it's like a dirt, like earth creature or something.
Yeah. And it seems to take what little bit of shape, this nebulous block, and as it pulls itself free, you get what you think is the corner of an eye, the corner of like the head. Mm. And as you blink, so does it, and the clapping of its eyelids sends a tremor across the water surface.
Cool.
You understand now?
Well, you're big.
I am but a stone, a pebble.
There's more that are even bigger than you?
There are hundreds of me. We only speak where it cannot.
Wow.
And it is stuck. Tethered.
Well, what's holding on to all of y'all? You're massive, if that's how big you are.
We are an extension. We are its voice. And we cannot rove far from it.
Oh, you mean that thing's holding you in?
We are it. We are its
I'm
echoes.
confused. So you're holding yourself in?
Something
like a hug?
Greater holds here, stronger than stone, and timeless. We feel your footsteps above us. We
Sorry
feel
about that.
your blood pulled upon our strength.
Oh, my finger.
A gift.
You're welcome.
Pass the gift.
You notice that
pass the gift?
in your hand, you feel what you hadn't before. It had fallen to the earth. You notice in your hand is the bone. It's the phalanges, right? It's the digit, the bone inside.
It's like all the flesh rotted off of it,
Yep.
and now it's just like the bone by itself.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Oz will be like,
Oh, I didn't know that was my hand. Well, I mean, it's already disconnected, so I guess you can have it.
like, will offer it.
Sure. And when you kind of extend your hand forward with this offering, you feel the earth shift again around that, and it seems to split open, creating almost like a small bowl of font for you to drop it inside. And when you do, it
Well, I gotta learn how to do that one.
collapses around the digit, and it retreats back into the earth around you.
You will be given a similar gift.
And after a few moments of waiting, do you say or do anything?
I mean, as soon as they say that, Oz will be like,
Well, thank you. I hope you like my pinky. I don't know what you can do with it, but I've done a lot of things with my pinky, so I don't know if you like cooking, but you did a good job.
Eli, Torvin, Rye, and Tripp. How long are you prepared to wait here?
I'd hammer time that dirt mound right away.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have probably punched it, try to see if I could.
My
get-
very first thought is,
Oh, is
where's
that-
my chisel?
Sure. Tripp?
Like that, all the reactions like, I want to punch it.
Would I be able to phase into it? Because I mean, I can't physically interact
No.
with it. I'm assuming.
You actually can't.
Then I would hope for the best, because there's not much I can do right now.
Rai and Torvin and Eli, you bring down the hammer, you bring down your fists, you try to pull away at the stones, and this is more than simple shale mortar. This is dense, very, very dense. And where you're driving with everything that you can, you get flecks of dust at best. You can't even crack the stone. The floor around you is different. You manage to kind of kick away a little bit here and there, but inevitably you're met with the same force. Gorovin.
Do I recognize the stone?
You don't recognize the stone. It's not of limestone. It's not of traditional, what most of the dwarvens in quarry would cut. Actually, you might. Give me. What do you have? What does Torvin have here?
I mean, there's the profession that he has as a stonemason, but there's also the fact that he is of living stone.
Okay. All right, then. Do you have geography?
I do.
Give me a knowledge geography, and I'll give you a +4 to whatever you roll. It's gonna put you at 15. Now there are no luck rolls so far. Nobody's managed to put any of those
It's
in.
not bad.
But 15 is not bad. Unless someone comes through with that luck roll, I'm gonna give you an even or an odd here. What do you think?
I'll go with odd.
Odd, okay. It's even.
Okay.
It's dense. You aren't entirely certain about this. You know it's not granite. Okay, or Aurora's coming in. Aurora coming in with 10 gifted subs. The man.
Oh.
Appreciate you, boss. That's the first luck reroll. Would you like to use that?
I think I will.
Okay. You know what? I want you to use mine because I think this is going to be interesting enough if you manage to claim this.
All right. Ooh.
That's better. Yeah, I set the DC at 15, and you rolled a 14 plus the 4, so you're sitting at 18 now. That works.
Thank you.
Okay, so dwarves have access to a lot of different quarry types, right? Like they've been pretty ingenious about how they manage to do this. It doesn't really take a lot to split as much stone, but you know that there are some that they simply, like dwarves just don't try to slate out. They don't try to whittle it out. It's just better to find a wall of it and then build around it.
Hmm.
This is a rich type of dense stone that seems to naturally have what looks like iron weave in it. It would take a lot of tremendous power that you think that probably even the most capable dwarves lack without a squad, without proper tools, without proper heat. It definitely looks like volcanic stone. The type?
It's a load-bearing elemental. No, I back away from it.
Gorovin strikes match to his pipe. You could be here a while.
He's like, I'm gonna go make out with my wife real quick.
What's going on, Gorovin? You look surprised. Is this not supposed to happen to Oz?
Wasn't supposed to happen so swiftly.
Usually it takes time. I wasn't anticipating Oz to lean and offer as much. There was more more there.
And what exactly is happening?
Oz is probably panicking currently. The rock just swallowed them, and they are beneath us. And I assure you that is not a metaphor or an allegory. They're speaking with what I believe is locked beneath us.
Is he safe?
I believe so, yes. If they were, well... And he kind of like nods upward to where the children are at. If they were safe, in the time it took for them, then the likelihood of Oz being safe is still very high. Unless, of course, he says something incredibly stupid.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
It may be moments. It may be the rest of the night. I suppose you should best get comfortable while we wait.
Aye, thank you, sir.
Tripp will hover up and kind of just look back at everyone. Agreed. I think the best thing we could all do is get some rest. But all you guys hear is the gutter speak again, with the exception of Rye, of course.
Rye is the only person that is able to discern that. Torvin and Eli are still sort of at wit's end with this.
And I'm throwing mundane shit through your body whenever you're talking.
Just leaning over to a shelf. Stop it! Just quit it.
Books,
Random
candles.
shit, go!
From there, I would say Tripp would post up near the mound where it's at. Probably like sounds weird, but like inside like a jar or something, just kind of like hover in there, and then you see like a little black swirl inside the jar while he waits.
Okay. What about Rye? What's Rye doing down here in the basement?
Rye is just watching. He just feels out of his depth whenever all this magic shit starts getting going. And he just, I think he would have been worried before, but the fact that Torvin isn't freaking out makes him feel like he shouldn't freak out and maybe he should just wait. You know, he might even do something like pull out, like just something like whittle. Just kind of wait and just see what's happening.
All right. Okay. So aside from consistently hucking things at Tripp because of the voice, does Eli actually relax? You guys have a moment here where you feel like you're in a zone that you know, at least as far as you believe, is protected from some of the outside elements. Do you actually have any kind of transparent communication here? Or do you sort of build a combat plan? What does this look like for the reduced group size?
Actually, you know what? Rye would inquire about the brand on the back of our necks, if they could be reconstructed or fixed, because he said that they were smudged or, you know.
I can do that, yes. It wouldn't be a problem.
Rye, like, just kind of turns around and kind of gets on his knees and lets him.
Oh, you'd like that right now? Of course. Wary me.
What else are we doing?
Well,
Seems like we've got some time.
I was sleeping. It is quite late.
Actually, if Tripp or if Silwith could, he's gonna actually kind of like float around and see if there's like any like little like puzzles or something that are available. Just kind of him to like tinker with while he waits for stuff to go down.
Okay. Sure. There are some things. There's some more mundane things that are about, but nothing that really looks like. There's not a fidget spinner for ghosts.
No, I know that, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I mean, even as a ghost, he wouldn't rest, you know?
Of course,
So it's like he's kind of just trying to figure out what to do. So it's like he kind of like goes in this little jar, realize like this isn't really comfortable. So he gets out and they kind of seem like hovering around over like the lab table. And it's just like anything that looks like circuitry or anything like that, or like locks, you see kind of like, you just see like the hands kind of like moving.
Sure.
As though he's trying to like fidget with them, but whether or not he's interacting with it or not, it's something he's just doing to pass time.
Okay. This isn't your first time in the basement. You have been here, and nothing's
Correct.
really changed. The only thing that's different now is that you can pass through objects.
Yeah.
Give me a wisdom check here.
Wisdang. Let's see.
This is memory.
Oh.
Are you happy with that?
I'll just burn the reroll that we have.
Okay. Wow, that
Nothing.
Wow.
watch that fucking flat roll off of a 16 to a 17 back to 3. Okay. Looking around, man, like there are a couple of things, right? That you do see that there's not really a lot here that is what you would believe is super safe. You don't actually see anything that looks very puzzly by nature, but you do think of something. Glancing around the room, trying to find anything to keep your mind busy, occupied. Takes you a few minutes, but you glance over to the bedside, where Gorovin is sitting on the edge of the bed, and he appears to be creating what looks to be a dense ashen, what looks to be like pen, that he was using to write on the back of everyone's necks. Past his bed, there is what looks to be a tall chest. It does, in fact, have a lock mechanism on it. He basically said everything was available. You can read the books here. But you do know that he's been very protective of that area.
Yeah.
It's like a small armoire / chest.
I mean, knowing that it's a lock, I would look at it out of curiosity. Just the fact that it's saying that, again, it could be just.
Can you give me a stealth, please?
Yeah. Do I have that in this form? Is the question.
I certainly hope you do.
Yes, I do.
Wow, very good.
Ooh.
Very good. You move in a way that most people wouldn't anticipate. You're already a figure of shadow, and there's not much light down here. Again, he did say he was sleeping, so it's not exactly emblazoned with multiple torches or sconces or braziers. It was a single candle on the table, and just outside of 10 feet, you blend in perfectly with the darkness. Your eyes focus on that just past the wizard. You shift over to the side. You pass through a small desk, walking through it as if it was nothing at all, but really you're the nothing that's walking through it. Your leg hits to the bedside, but you stop instinctively. It's a memory that never quite faded. Even on your deathbed, you had huddled up next to your cot. And you move, but you don't quite make a noise. You don't have to worry about breathing. You reach out to touch the lock, and your hand passes through it. You kind of reach again, this time a little further, and your hand begins to pass through the armoire. But you actually feel your fingertips graze across something. Something inside touched you back.
Would I guess kind of move my my face inside to see what I can peruse.
Give me another stealth, please. And can I get a perception, please, from Rye, Torvin, and Eli?
Oh, he.
Wow, you're killing it, man. You're.
Dang.
He's just going
Sir
in.
Torvin is here.
They
Rye,
really want to see you, man.
Eli. Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, and Eli. Oh my lord.
Got my peeper on you.
Jeez.
So here's the question. Eli, do you have any extra form of light? Do you have anything that's producing light at all? Do you have a candle? Do you have a torch?
I mean, I have them. They're not lit in the house
Okay.
at the moment.
All right. It's very, very difficult for
I have
you.
a candle and a torch.
All right. Do you have them open though? That's the real kicker here. Do you have them out and quote unquote on?
I mean, if that's the only way I could have light down here, then I would have
Okay. All right.
done that.
So because you have this light, it is going to offer you the chance. If you were just leaning on the candlelight darkness, you wouldn't be able to see it, even with a 26, because a creature that can nebulously move in darkness as a pitch black figure in front, you wouldn't be able to see. But because you have access to a torch or whatever light source you have.
I have 2 candles and torches and sun torches,
Okay.
but I'd probably just use a candle.
Torvin and Eli, I'm assuming that you guys are close. You're close enough together. But still far enough away that you're not immediately within 10 feet of the wizard, especially since Rye's kind of like dropped to knee at this point, and he's uncovered his neck and he's waiting for his ashen sigil. You both see the figure sort of reach out and touch at this armoire chest. And then it reaches out again, but this time it stops and pulls its hand back. And he kind of looks around, but he doesn't really notice anything. He doesn't quite stop to look at you guys specifically. He feels very confident that he's not been seen. Rye's definitely not seen it. The wizard has definitely not seen it. But you two, you catch it at the same time. You instinctively look at each other and you realize trouble's afoot. Do you say anything? Do you do anything?
I don't like Gorovin either.
Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna be like, maybe if he fucks with Gorovin enough, Gorovin will just take care of our problem.
Oz, while you lie in wait with some patience, you hear the footfalls above you. It's not one, it's not two, it's multiple. 3, 4, 5.
Is it loud?
It's not incredibly loud, but it's enough that it triggers like something is moving above me.
Is it a different sound than the sound when the creature was walking around or moving or whatever?
Yes, it is in fact a different sound.
I think Oz says out loud then, or in his head, or I don't know, however he's been talking to this creature, he says back to them,
Is that what we sound like when we're walking around?
There's no response back.
That's okay. Oz just keeps talking to himself.
Sure.
He's like,
Wonder if that gets annoying after a while.
just like rambling. He just keeps talking to himself, I think. If no one talks back, it's Oz. He just talks to himself.
Of course. And there is no response. After a few moments, you no longer hear the footfall. You would hear the sound of something like thudding down densely, so it creates like as they bound down before inevitably it's silence again. And you can just hear that sound of being underground, that pressure around you, that almost resounding heartbeat, that blood flow noise. But never quite getting a response back. No more shifting stone. Nothing. Tripp. No one has taken notice of you as far as you can tell. Nobody's saying anything. You've withdrawn your hand, and you know that there's something there. what do you do from here?
From there, I would like lean in with like one of my eyes to see what I'm looking at.
Okay. Give me perception.
Ooh.
Wow, okay. All right, your guys' rerolls have not been great, but like some of your rolls right out of the gate have been kind of nuts.
So many 20s.
yeah, it's
That's
nuts.
3 20s in a row, man.
That's kind of nuts. Where you're looking? Are you looking immediately where you put your hand in and you felt that?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would kind of go off of the instinct of like where was the last spot I checked, and then kind of look in to see what I'm looking at inside the chest.
Sure. When you glance into this now, bear in mind this is like, think of this like a medicine cabinet, but it's probably twice the thickness, and it goes all the way down to the ground. But his bed has been pushed all the way up against this, and the doors go all the way to the ground as well. So you would have to draw the bed out entirely in order to open these up. That's done by intention. When you glance in immediately, your eyes are met. Now, this is very difficult. It's very hard for you to sort of imagine this here, but when you pass through this wooden chest, and you immediately see what looks to be a large hound's tooth, or at least it looks that way. It's like a canine fang, a dog's tooth, but it's probably 4 or 5 inches in length. It's very, very thick at the base, and you notice there are runic markings, carvings all over this. And at the top of it is hound's fur, bound in cord and cable.
And I'm able to interact with this?
Yes.
Can I tell what language the runes are? Are they written in like common, or is it another language?
What languages do you have?
I think it's like common, and Elven. But let me check just to be 100% sure. Gotta open up my other Roll20 page.
Goblin. It's all the runes are in Goblin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, goblin. It's just scratches.
Common, Elven, and Dwarven.
Okay. No, it's in none of those.
Okay. Let's see. Can I don't even know if this is gonna work.
You won't know until you try.
Yeah. Can I try like attuning to it using use magic device?
That's interesting. You can try.
It's not great, but give it a whirl. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Another nat 20? What is happening?
I have no idea.
Oh my lord.
Somebody
Jeez.
check that dice.
Tripp.
It's weighted.
Yo.
I want to know what this looks like. I'm going to yield the response to this, but I want to know what this looks like when you attune to it. Describe this for me. I'm your viewer at this point. You have the storytelling stick. Please take control.
So kind of like how he tinkers with, I would say, well, when he was alive, his puzzle lock. He starts kind of doing the same thing with the runes, but you see like his fingers kind of turn into the tendrils, and like they start like fiddling with every rune over and over again. And he starts like rotating it, and he starts looking, like he keeps looking at it, and then he's like holding it, and he's like, okay, well maybe it's like you need a purpose for this. Maybe I need to tell this like this is mine. It belongs to me now. like kind of putting that invoking feeling on it. And as he starts doing that, you see like the runes start glowing more and more, and he's like, okay, I think this is how it works. Little more, and then all the runes just start glowing, and then he kind of like holds the top of it, and then it activates or it attunes.
Okay. It activates. It attunes. Still nothing from Torvin or Eli. You just wait.
I'm waiting for him to
I'm
pull
actually
his head out of
focusing
this
on Oz.
thing.
Yeah. I'm looking at Oz.
Okay. All right. When you begin to attune to this, when you find as if you are trying to fiddle with this and control it, you notice that as your hand touches it, it starts to smear some of these runes. Some of these runes aren't carved. Some of them are written in what looks to be ash. And as you begin to move, you start to smear some of the ash on this. And it does illuminate. It does begin to burn. It's only the runes that are carved that begin to burn. Not you, but they glow a rich ember. They emit a light, hazy smoke. There's a thrum that writhes through your fingertips, down the length of your shadowed arm. I need for you to give me, let's see here. How would we want to do this? It's starting to create this thrumming, this hum noise, and it's reverberating onto the wood. It's creating like a tapping of sorts. You know, at this rate, if it increases, you will be discovered. What would you like to do here?
So it's just I've activated and it's thrumming now.
Yes. But you don't know exactly what you've done.
You're working it up. Now what?
We hear that? No?
Give me perception.
I mean, I don't even know if this would work, but could I try to draw it into myself?
How?
Like if I guess I would think in my mind, I don't fucking know what this thing is. Like,
Give me. You know what? Let's see here. I would like. You're stealthing here. You're trying to make this. You're trying to make it as quiet as possible. So please, give me a stealth.
Another stealth check.
Yes.
Okay. So 30.
You think for a moment, Eli, Torvin, there's something else that is happening here. There's something else at play, and you hear this almost hum and thrum, but you realize that hum and thrum is actually coming from the ashen pen that Gorovin is making, and he seems to be writing down on loose paper, this almost canvas style paper. It's making this and tapping every time he places that pen down. You do,
kind of like
however, notice that the cracks in one of the rungs, the shelves of this, there is a small amount of pinhole light now erupting from the inside of that cabinet where his head and hands are.
To kind of quiet the noise. Yeah, you see like Tripp kind of like almost like he's like lifting a tumbler, kind of like rotated up so it's not touching any of like the wood against the cabinet, and then he like continues like working on it. But I guess at this point, like if I'm like this invested into like unlocking this, Tripp would just go into the actual like chest itself and continue working on it. Reassessing the runes potentially to see if now that he became attuned to it, if the words became clear to him, or at least the ones that are glowing, to see if there's like a trigger mechanism or like an actual like word or phrase inscribed on it that the actual user can see or understand. That's what I would be looking for now.
You see nothing of the sort.
Okay.
It is not in a language that you are familiar with, so it's not suddenly going to start speaking in common. You don't know entirely what you've done.
Gonna look at Torvin and be like,
Yeah.
like, hey, do you see that light? Like silently, but
Well, at this point, I've got nothing else that I can do with it other than I activate it, and I know that I'm attuned to it. Best guess, I mean, from what I've seen from certain magical trinkets, or at least what I can remember, is the only thought that would go through my head would be like the Hound. Like, oh, that's right, like he can transform into a beast. Maybe that's what this is, and like he would kind of try to like see if that's what he could do, in a sense. Like maybe that's what this is.
Well, now that you've already smudged a number of these runes off, are you trying to remove them entirely, or what exactly are you hoping to?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if I realize that if I believe like these chalk runes are fake, I would like, as I'm working on it, I would start clearing them off to like kind of like clear the puzzle. You know what I mean? Like make it a little more clear to see exactly what I'm looking at. So that's effectively like what I would be doing within that process, or have done within that process.
Right. Okay. All right. What's the worst that's gonna happen here? You managed to do so. You purge a number of these deeply inscribed chalk lines, these ashen marks that you've come to know specifically that the man places on multiple things. I need new perceptions, please, from Rye, from Torvin, and from Eli.
I'll see shit.
Okay. Let's see if I can get this here. It's not a matter of seeing as much as it a matter of hearing. It's not very loud, and it's rather muffled. Eli, you've seen multiple interpretations of a hound in the streets, one of which is the beloved Hap that you've come to realize is a dead creature. Only as of recently. You know that Rye has said, at least on a singular occasion, that there's something weird about that dog. I think he may have even admitted that he briefly spoke with Hap. Which you find to be strange. But as you're watching this light glow, shift and alter in its variety from orange to red, red to yellow, back to orange again, multiple times through, from the furthest part that only you are capable of hearing, none of the others very clearly have heard this, past the walls, past the house. This low, whinnied drawl. Not really sure what to make of that. But you know that you heard it. You glance around briefly. Torvin has not responded.
Mr. Gorovan, think something might be going on over there with your chest.
The man looks up from where he's marking, and he sees your face. What do you, when you, like, do you kind of point, or are you, what are you doing exactly?
Yeah, point where I see the light coming from.
Okay. All right.
That's what I do. I tattletale.
It's a fucking hall monitor. Oh.
You're running too slow.
Tripp,
You're
give me a
walking
perception.
too fast.
Yeah, Tripp, you hear Eli. You hear him. He's not quiet about it. And you knew right away what he was doing, what he was talking about. I need for you do me a favor. Give me a will save.
Okay. Oh, to stop my vice of fucking puzzle handling?
No.
He's a fiddler. He fiddles with things. I don't trust him.
Ooh. Not
Okay.
strong enough.
All right, my
That's
friend.
not a good one.
The moment that you say that, the man slowly kind of turns. It's very, very tense, very stiff back. Every time that you've seen him move up to this point, he's managed to move in such a way that he moves his feet. There's never really much of a turn in his neck or his back. But as he slowly kind of turns, you can hear his neck pop in a few places. He looks, and you see, like, the fear hit his eyes. Before, he was always very composed. Very, very, very composed.
Hammers out.
And he stands. It's a little slow, but he pushes himself up, and he starts moving his fingers in somatic components. And you've managed to fail your save. He says, Invadus exhaust. And when he does so, you feel the energy from your body drop. You feel as if the sun has just baked down upon you, and you have carried the heaviest backpack for miles. Your body wishes to pull as close to the ground as possible, to pull you into a very natural resting position. Your hand slowly drops the thrumming object, this hound's tooth, and you slip downward. I need you to make another will save. Okay.
21.
Torvin, Eli, Rye, can I get perceptions, please?
Please.
Sure.
All right. And
Sorry about that. My mouse is kind of.
You're fine.
funky on this
You're fine.
computer,
Double
so-
clicking.
it's
Yeah.
it's fine. You've got a 19. Eli's got a 12. Torvin, you have a 17. Right, you're gonna pick up this first, Torvin. Then you. Right, it's probably because you're just so damn close. There is something unnatural about the way that he speaks. It's almost dual toned. And then you begin to see this physical response. It's almost cinematic by its make. His hair that was kind of pulled up very tightly so that he could rest on his side. As he turned, it whipped it down. And now it's this like almost loose bun-like thing on his head, and the hair is starting to loosen. But it's almost moving. It's flowing, similar to that of the Silver Maiden, of the woman that you had seen floating. She's introduced herself as the wife, the past wife of Warden Hawkran. His hair sort of starts moving freely over shoulder. And as he begins to speak, there's almost this dual tone, this echo that hangs off of his voice. And what did you expect was going to happen there? What did you anticipate was going to work in your favor? What did you think? He turns to look at each of you. I asked simply, stay out of my things. Each of you notice at this point that the color of his eyes have changed. They're soulless black, completely just devoid of color entirely. You come to my home, asking for help. And this, pointing over to the heap of blackness, this free-floating nebulous mess of a spirit. This. Why? He pulls the bed out at this point, and he draws from the inside of what looks like his robe pocket a key. And he opens a single door with it, and he pulls, and he reveals what looks to be like a pepper-sized canine tooth. And the look on his face, the dread. Give me any reason why I should not send you away.
Sir, what happened?
Would you like to explain yourself? Would you? Or will you allow me to?
I would like to detect evil if I can, when I can.
Sure. You cast Detect Evil. This is very, very simple for you. It's almost natural. You can turn this thing on. It's like viewing it in a different spectrum. He doesn't emit evil at all. But you know even good people are capable of evil things.
So Rye is like super confused by this because he wasn't really detecting what was happening until like he has fucking gone into like,
Until he flipped the
angry
table.
mommy mode. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry.
Oz. After nearly 15 to 20 minutes, finally you hear that shifting of the soil around you. Before it draws forth this almost solid cone-like shape that blooms like a flower, creating a bowl. And inside is a darkened bead. It holds it open like a palm.
Can I take that?
That is yours. You are now tasked with aiding in shackle removal.
All right, I'm not sure what that means, but
He puts his hand in there, picks up the bead, and he kind of like looks at it.
It's fairly ornate in design, and it's not like anything you've really seen. It almost looks like tar.
It's like a little.
It's like a marble. But every time you seem to rotate it, there is something inside. You are certain of that much, that there is something inside. Your eyes have affixed to this, and you know that it's magical. You know that it's magical. You don't have to cast Detect Magic to do that.
Can I, what kind of like knowledge would I know of things like this? Could I do like a knowledge arcana and...
Of course, I think you could, yeah. You could at least try.
Nope.
Not that you
13.
can't.
Everyone else is rolling great today.
Yeah.
Me? Nope.
Yeah, no, they've stolen all the luck.
Yeah. I think Oz just looks at it and goes,
oh, there's something inside there. Did you make this? Is this like your baby?
It is a blessing from we.
Well, I appreciate this blessing. I don't know how I'm gonna unshackle you, but I'll try my best.
And you are free to go.
As the soil begins to shift around you, and everyone else at this point, as you're seeing the elderly man come to life in a way that you haven't seen previously, with anger, vitriol in his resolve. Fear is something that has been prominent in this town. Fear of the dead. But this very, very alive man is commanding the room with his very incapable body. Glances back down. As the rock and rubble seem to twist and shape, Oz, you are born again from the earth from that spot. And there you'll see what has been described up to this point.
I think Oz just
Oz!
can breathe again, and he like looks around and he's like, am I still holding this like
Yes.
marble thing?
Yes.
He like clenches it in his hand and he looks around and he's like, what are y'all doing?
See like a little ghost finger come up and point to like the little tooth, or like the big tooth. You're just like pointing.
Oz looks at Torvin because I think Torvin was nearest to me because he was like watching the
Sure,
stone, and he's
yeah.
like,
What's going on?
I don't know. He went mad.
Tripp messed with something he shouldn't, and now Garovin is turning into a ghost man.
I look at Garovin, and Rai just says, "The Wraith, he doesn't work for our purposes. He does his own thing. This wasn't us. It's him.
And
He works
yet you
alone.
still keep him in company.
He's the only one that can protect the boy."
Well,
You
he's
see our
created
dilemma.
another problem.
Agreed.
What happened now? What's the problem?
What did you do?
Tripp, do you say anything? Do you even move?
I think the only one who would hear me would be what, Rye?
Yeah, Rye can hear you.
Yeah.
Torvin now realizes
and
the
Temerity,
mistake of
I think.
asking
Oh,
you
no.
the question.
Yeah, no, her spell would have worn off. Yeah, Tripp would say the tooth has some sort of attuning and locking mechanism on it.
Ugh.
I speak back. Do you not care for the lives of your companions?
Are you saying
tries
that
to,
What are
like,
they
specifically
talking
to
about
Tripp,
now?
or are you saying that to Gorovin?
Tripp. I'm
Okay.
saying it to Tripp. Yeah.
Oz, Torvin, Eli, you can hear him say that. He speaks
Yeah,
that
Oz-
in common
Yeah,
tongue.
Oz is like,
What are they saying now?
I thought that was obvious already when he gave the book to the Spectre.
I look at Garovin and I say, what you do with the Wraith is of no concern for us. We're not with him. If you want to banish him or whatever, do what you must. He doesn't act for us. In fact, this isn't the first time he's almost got us in a lot of trouble.
But he's also helped us a lot too.
He tells Rye, he's like, I can touch that though. I don't know why, but I can touch that.
What is it?
Oz will make a plea to Garovin.
Plea away. Give me a what would you want to use? I'm assuming that's not bluff. Maybe a diplomacy.
Yeah, probably diplomacy. We'll see how well I roll, and then I'll RP it. 23. All right. I just have to be rolling for somebody else for me to be.
Okay. All right. So let's hear your argument. I want to hear what you got here.
I was just like,
Come on now, Rye. Yes, he's gotten himself into a pickle more recently, but he's been very helpful for us. He's helped us see things that we couldn't see. He's helped us hear things we couldn't hear. And he's been helping Pevrin so that, creepy ghosts don't get inside him.
Just destroying his body the entire time in the process.
Well, didn't he heal you
Less
too?
bad. I mean,
Ruined
he
his
already
arms.
is bad.
It's been struck by lightning. Haven't seen him eat quite a while.
That actually isn't true. I've actually made sure Pepperin has eaten.
I've never seen him eat a single time.
I have. I've made quite a few meals.
I don't. Fine.
He is left in your charge, and not of cause to me.
I've tried to smite him several times.
He holds this houndstooth up. He looks at it for a long while. Moments pass. And he shakes his head. And then he tosses in the direction of Torvin and Oz.
Oz will pick it up. Look
Yeah, I
at
gotta
it. What is
grab
it? Yeah.
It's, think like roughly the shape of a pepper, like a garden pepper, but it's a houndstooth. And at the root itself, it looks like it's been tightly wound with very thin hemp cable. There is fur.
Ooh, is it magical?
Yes.
I'm assuming it is.
Yes, quite so. Quite so.
Oz won't let go of it when Torvin tries to grab it too.
You know, you just went down to this bad place, come back and all. Maybe I'll hold on to this for a while.
Yes, I like that idea.
I think
Probably
I'll be fine.
wise.
Well,
If you don't
I
want to
know-
lose another finger, I'd hand it over, Oz.
I know a lot about magic things. What's he know?
He's been around a lot longer than you.
Well, that's just ageist.
And
But
Oz
you
isn't letting
asked
go.
what I'd know. I've. You're hobby-gobbies. You're weird.
He's not letting go. He's holding on to it.
Oh, I'm pulling.
Okay. You're gonna have to.
I'm
You're gonna
gonna-
have
I
to
would
rip it out of my
recommend
hands.
that you do not tear away that fur. As you are kind of like tossing over this,
Yeah.
give me a strength check.
Us. We're terrible.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm actually not terrible. Oh no! We both rolled so low, a 9 and a 6.
Okay. All right, Torvin, you managed
Wait,
to roll a 9.
I can re-roll. I'm using
you
it
can,
now.
Okay,
Thank you,
all
chat.
right, go for it. Let's see.
Worse! Come on!
Your rolls
All right.
tonight, Mags. It's killing me.
I
Okay.
know, it's killing me. Literally. All right.
Torvin,
Right, is so out of his depth right now.
you managed to wrench
I have
this
an
away.
addiction, so
you,
I feel like I need it.
You've got this in such a way, right? Like you have the angled part of the tooth where the thumb can actually nestle in such a way, and you yank it away. Oz, you feel it pull from your hand, but you still feel something in your hand.
I got it.
When you glance down, you're clutching just the fur, as the man says, "Do not let the fur be removed from the tooth."
Why would you throw it to them then?
Well, what happens when the fur's removed from the tooth?
Does it matter?
There's a
Oz
long,
holds it
drawn-out
up and is like,
sigh as he's like holding onto his head.
Probably.
I simply cannot make a request of anything because you will most certainly do just that. Let's try this then. Please do not leave this establishment. Do not leave immediately and deal with your own problems. You reap what you sow.
Well, guys, I think that's our cue.
I think he's being subtle.
Oz will pocket the fur because he's not sure what to do with it, and then pulls out the little pebble, and is like,
Well, what am I supposed to do with this?
We can talk if you survive.
But isn't this supposed to help me survive?
Good luck.
Gosh darn it. Why do y'all gotta ruin everything?
Oz looks around at everybody as he's holding this little pebble, and puts it back in his pouch.
Maggie, you will be the first person that I've ever given this to. I am giving to you my wild magic table.
Oh no.
Courtesy of your commitment to this, Maggie,
Oh snap.
you will basically get this. Whenever you go to cast a spell while you are in this town, you are under the permanent influence. You will have options here. You can lean into the magic as one addicted to magic, unassumed of whatever this compulsion may lead you unto. And whatever number you roll, you get the 7 numbers around it. It's your choice. So if you roll, let's say, 440,
So I can pick between
up to
the
7.
ones that are near it.
Correct. So you can go 3 on the left, 4 on the right, 1 on the left, 6 on the right. And that is now what becomes your magic.
All my magic?
Until you
All
leave
my-
this town. Yes.
Every time I
Everybody run.
cast?
Every time you cast.
run.
Now bear in
Just-
mind,
Oh my god.
There-
You guys,
All right,
I'm
Oz.
sorry.
We're gonna get you some armor. You're gonna go in Harrowstone. You're gonna do a couple of spells, and then we're gonna
Good.
get out of here.
now there are some spells, right? You know, technically, you don't even have to open that. If you want to trust me to do it, I can try to pick what I think is best for you in this point. Or you can just leave it to your roles in the table. You get that decision. Okay. You have essentially become a conduit to the elemental. And he's channeling wild aggression through you. So your magic isn't what you want it to be. You're opening yourself as a conduit to magic, and it's becoming whatever it wants to be of its own volition. You're just arcing at this point, and you just basically shout magic from your body. It comes out in a variety of forms. So?
Sounds great for an addicted magic person.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
I mean,
now
we're about to find out.
Now that you have this, again, I've been using this wild magic table for 5 years, and I've never given it to anybody. You're the first person to get this table. You get to do whatever you'd like with it. And he evicts you from his premise. He doesn't use magic. He goads you forward. He makes demands. He uses his dad finger and points, straightens out that arm as much as possible.
It's not going to tell us what that did, though. He's just going to say good luck.
Apparently.
Do you ask him?
Yeah. What's going on? What did that do?
There's that pause for a moment as he looks down before you exit, as the door is open into the darkness of the town, the smoke still smoldering from the building, and none of the townsfolk around.
I tattled, okay? I'm on his side. Wink.
For your sake, I will say this. What befalls you lies as hubris. You've destroyed one of the last things of this town that bring happiness. And what is wrought before you is now your problem. My blessings to you.
We didn't do anything. We don't know what's going on.
I think it's one of those problems where you're guilty by association.
Out of frustration, the old man livens up and he just like snaps and points.
Rye just says, I mean, you know ill will. And I turn around and I know when I'm not fucking welcome somewhere.
His hand comes out and hits your bicep. And as you kind of glance up at him,
if you survive the coming incursion, I will draw upon you the sigil for your freedom from a singular attack.
But know this, and he points to you, Tripp.
Things were fine before you let your hands Wyld. And now you must pay. And if there is anyone walking the streets this night, aside from yourselves, and Hap finds them, they will be torn to shreds. And you thought this spirit was a problem. Imagine a wild dog. Its body bound in necromantic magic to not warp and contort. I found a way to unlock a previous memory, the time of happiness when he was alive. And now he is truly a creature without will. A creature of death.
Oh.
So I should have killed Hap when we first got. See, chat, this is what I tried to tell you. This is why you guys shouldn't think for yourselves and just let me.
If you tried to kill him, his head would have just started spinning and puking.
Listen,
like the
I tried to snuff this problem day one, okay? Day one, and everyone judged me. And now what? Now where are we? All right.
So the creator of this undead moment wouldn't happen to hold any responsibility at all then?
Things were fine before all of you were here.
No, that's not what I'm saying, is it? It's always fine when you can shuffle it off to others.
You must be rather used to this, finding ways to blame others than yourself.
I've heard this for hundreds of years.
Then you must be used to dealing with it. Now go. Because now I must protect the children. Again, hubris.
From a thing you made,
From a thing
will do your bidding.
He let loose.
The only reason I'm letting you stay alive is because you're protecting the children.
You are still wet behind the ears, and you are nothing but a twinkle in your father's pants when I was evaporating nations, so get the fuck out of my house.
No problem. I'll be back to twinkle on you later.
Oh, by golly. What?
God damn it.
Now the hell's is happening?
Told you not to trust that motherfucker, guys. Either of these motherfuckers. He points at Tripp as well. Now I gotta go chase down this rabid necromantic dog beast, as if we didn't have enough problems to deal with. I got rat guts in the seams of my armor still.
I want to roll
fine.
perception to see if I
Rat guts? What's he talking about now?
see if I can hear or smell or something Hap. If I can sense Hap because of my undeadness or something. Because now we're out here and we don't know where Hap's at, and apparently he's.
We're gonna head to the gazebo where he usually is. I'm gonna lay down some Pevern meat on the way.
21 is. I don't know.
Are you leading? Are you leading at this point? Are you guessing where Hap may be?
I'm like
go?
walking out of the house, with the warning still fresh on my mind, and I am scanning to see if I can find Hap, because we're walking out into what I think is now probably a very dangerous area.
Did he release me yet, or am I still bound on the floor? Because last I checked, he hadn't released that spell.
You're free. Okay. He walked you out. He walked you out like a handbag.
Kicked it out.
Okay.
Ruining everything. You guys, you know what? All of you just hate this town and the people in it. You guys are killing town people.
I like Jorfa and Zohar.
Yeah, well, maybe, what, Tripp? God damn it.
Yep.
We can't, this is why we can't have nice things. This is that moment, okay? Like, God, everybody, it's like, who in this town likes us? Why are we even here? Like, what are we even doing now? Like,
actually,
everybody
quite a dungeon.
Kendra's the only one
a lot of people
is not like Kendra is sexually attracted to me. I think that's obvious. Everybody else is horrible. This is why we are not heroes. We're just people that are just pissing more people off. I don't know, man. What good?
I will be a hero.
Oh,
I need a
God.
hero. I'll show you how to twinkle on him.
I love Torvin's interaction. That shit was good.
Oz is following them, confused AF, still like, what is happening? Someone's talking about rats. There's...
Here, boy.
Might be the first time I've tracked a dog.
Got some lovely finger bones for you.
Is this really what's happening right now? I just
You
got my finger cut off.
Where now? And you're asking that. Your Kate went away and everything went crazy.
You offered your finger.
What did you see doing there?
Twinkle in your eyes.
Well, does it matter what I saw down there? Apparently, y'all are making a hot mess up here. By the way, stop stomping around.
Oz now, from now on, will be trying to tippy-toe walks, lightly.
You're the heaviest one here, Oz. What do you mean?
Well, your footsteps are loud.
My footsteps are loud.
Yep, that's what I said.
Right.
You all felt it strange.
As you slowly step onward, moving to the gazebo, knowing not what you expect to find. Where previously there were many, many people here. You do notice that Jorfa's body is gone from where you can immediately see. That Hap's little series of blankets remain, but he isn't there. What you can see, that you do find odd, is wolf fur, hound fur. It's fur. You're certain of that. It's long in places and short in others, but it's still bound up on the same skin. You continue to move. You call out to Hap? Or do you just wait?
Yes. Here, boy. Whistle, whistle.
I do call out to him.
I've just got my bow ready.
Rye, as you call out to him, you hear something very loud crash. There's the sound of what feels as if someone or something smacked a wall. Building just in sight, where you'd seen just a few weeks prior. A stable. The wall shakes. You see light moving from the house attached to that stable. Slowly but surely passing by a vented window.
I'd like to lay on
Forward,
hands
forward.
myself before he gets here.
Go for it.
Okay, I will roll 2d6.
This is probably about 60, 70 feet away at this point as you're watching. The
I'm gonna
wind...
veer a little off to the left just to get some space between.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in a stance and get into dragon stance and just kind of wait and see what happens.
He's
here.
running towards us, Hap is?
No. The wind...
No, we're moving towards it.
The wind obscures any of the sounds.
Okay.
But briefly, you see that light kind of dim down, and then in the stable itself, between the cracks and the slats of the wood, you can see that light reappear. And then it whips around wildly before it stops. The light dies out. The double doors crash open, blah, and out rolls this body, a heaped mess. It's just darkness in there. The body doesn't move. It's the body of a man. Stable master that greeted many of you previously.
Going in,
Does he look
everybody.
okay? Is he,
Yeah, I'm looking for not so much shapes, just movement.
He doesn't move.
What's in the shadows?
he's just standing there? He pushed open the door and he's just standing there?
No, his body was slumped and rolled out.
Oh.
As you begin to move up, I'm assuming Eli with your weapons drawn, Torvin is just staying off
Yes.
just to the left to provide a flank of
Shield.
sorts. You hear that loud whinny of a horse, this almost cry out in pain as it's stunted immediately. And then you can see the figure. You're certain it's some sort of hound. But it's dragging behind it, in its maw, in its open mouth, where the skin seems to have been pulled away from just up over the forehead. The snout is missing. You see these large, hooked fangs that are wrapped into the neck of a horse. And this dog had the same kind of ear as Hap. It's half up and crooked down. One of the people seem to pet and stroke, happily so. It exits the building, dragging the weight of the full horse with it. It is now roughly the size of the horse. And as if it's not horrific enough, where you can see the bone of its maw, its missing eye that seems to have been decayed and deflated, where it looks almost like there's maggots that are nestled and resting upon it. You can see its tore and jutted open ribs, where it creates this almost cage, holding on to what innards seem to slowly seep and leak out of itself. You're certain that it's an undead creature, an amalgamation. But the horrific part is where you're certain you saw 4 legs, now you see 5, and then 6. And it looks to be a second muzzle is erupting from the back side of its rear flank. And he starts to feast on this horse. You hear a as it tears the head away from the body. The head seems to look up for a moment as it's chewing away, and the eye turns, the only functioning eye as far as you can tell. And the brow furrows briefly for a moment as there is a blink, and then a second set of blinking eyelids internally. And its eye sees you, Rye. Torvin, you're the only person that can see this, courtesy of your angle off to the left. When its eye focuses on Rye, you see his tail happily whip back and forth. But you see 3 of the 4 back legs dig tightly into the dirt. As almost like a predator, like a cat, one of the front legs move out, and he starts to lean into a run. He erupts past
Fire.
the building.
If it's moving forward, I'm firing.
And this is where I call tonight's session.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Next session, I'm going to give you guys a battle map. I'm going to stat out Hap. And you guys have to kill Hap a second time.
Gee, thank you, Bob.
Or can I like animal handle him?
Yeah.
Come here, boy. Yeah, I'll give you a cake. Good boy. I'll give you another pony.
Well,
Oh man.
Well, they
You
got
know.
that wild magic you can call upon. Who knows what'll happen?
I mean, we're gonna
So
find
the
out.
best option is Hap turns into Bubbles.
Aww.
oh my goodness. This is where tonight's session ends as you guys are fighting a horse-sized aberration of Hap. Good luck with your infinite ponies. Whatever your magic seems to summon.
I mean, we'll find
Infinite
out.
ponies.
I might summon infinite ponies.
Starting
not
to
doing
do
this.
business with those.
How do you stop infinite ponies?
You
You
don't.
don't.
You don't.
Wow,
It's
you
a
just
sea.
drown
It
under
just
a
keeps
sea
going.
of ponies. That's how the
You
world
get
ends.
trampled.
This is our life now.
Yeah.
Oh, now you want to kill him, chat? Shut up.
Yeah, I'm gonna, to say that I'm not going to throw out a "told you so" is
You don't
as
need
good
to.
as throwing
this
out
is
an "I
yours
told you."
now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, chat.
We'll see what happens here next week. So, we'll start with Eli. As Cobalt Boss, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
What's up? I play D&D on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Earlier on Thursdays, I do Isaac. I've been playing a lot of TFT, trying to get platinum, a little bit of Raft. I might start up some kind of old school RPG. I've never played Final Fantasy VI. Might do some early morning streams and play that. Yeah, I've been doing early morning during the week after 6 at night. And if you want to come hang out, nerd out to some video games, come to my channel, CobaltStreak. Thanks for watching.
That is the place to do it.
Yeah, maybe some Cuphead.
Misty wasn't able to join us tonight, but just for her sake, you guys can find Misty. That's Imperial, all over the place. Twitch.tv/Imperial. She's a master maker. She can make just about anything. I've watched quite a few things being created between shirts and rags, purses. I feel like I've seen her make boots before. She's kind of a catch-all when it comes to these things. She's very, very talented. Go check out Miss Misty over there on Twitch.tv/Imperial. Wyld, how about you, boss? What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Same wild channel, same wild time. We're doing just so much Minecraft. It's actually redonks. At the moment, my partner and I are running a family server. So we're basically filling up that place. We're planning for the 119 upgrade as well. And we've got some big things coming forward too with charity works and working with mangrove protection.
Nice. That's great news. So make sure you guys check out Wyld over there, doing his thing. Maggie, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello, I'm MargaretKrohn. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all of the places. I do a lot of tabletop stuff, so if that interests you, come check it out. I always let you know whenever I'm live. I'm on a variety of channels, and I make games and video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all the places. And I'm making the advanced version of Witches and Spellcraft, which you can find the original over on DriveThru RPG. And that's me.
Perfect. Hello. When you're not really being Tripp's keeper here at this point, and you're really not trying to anymore, what are you doing? Where can we find you?
Yeah, man, that's fucking done. It's just what are you gonna do?
I think he just has Oz left. That's it at this point.
Yeah, it's like you can't save them all, right? You can't save them all. I'm actually not streaming very much lately. I got a lot of things happening in the personal life, but you guys are more than welcome to toss me a follow if you want. I stream usually early in the morning, like 4 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're an insomniac and you want some variety, streaming in your life, by all means, come on by. You can find all my social media stuff on there. Yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Xander, when you're not getting into trouble in D&D games, and well, Valheiming it up, what are you doing? Where can we find you?
When I'm able to stream, it's usually on my channel, playing random stuff here and there. But usually you'll just find me here, chilling with Bubs and then the crew. Yeah, if you guys ever want to reach out or just kind of say hello, you can find me on either Twitter or Instagram or here on Twitch.
Perfect. And guys, that kind of leaves me. I'm here. I'm doing this, getting back into the swing of things. I've had some time off dealing with real life stuff, as it seems like I feel like most people are these days. But we'll go back into the hang of it. I was not anticipating the game going this way tonight, though it's nice to finally give Maggie an opportunity at finding her footing with some magic, having control as opposed to being at the behest of a table. So,
I mean, is it really control?
Well, now you get to choose.
You've got options.
You've got options. Options matter.
It's like 7 rerolls every time you do a spell. Just don't get
you kind of get to choose from that spot. So we'll make it up. We'll make it up from that point. And you guys know how to find me. I'm here all the time. Tomorrow I'll be back. I think I'm going to be playing tomorrow. I'm going to start with. So I think I'm going to jump into some Dying Light 2. Actually, I've been eager to see what that's like, and I know it's on sale right now. It's like 33% off in a lot of places. So probably going to check out some Dying Light 2. I've been playing a lot of Valheim. We just took out Bone Mass again today. We're looking for, and we know the location of the Mother Dragon motor, but I still have not been able to find that damn goblin, the Goblin King. But in time, and we're still expecting a big patch update at the end of the year. So God knows what that's even going to be like, and they're saying that it's like the biggest one to date. So just hang out, hit us with a follow, and maybe consider supporting all these guys. Go over to their stream, hit them with a sub, because there's value in everything they do,
Bub.
and they're dope.
I dare you, sub to Bub.
Sub to Bub.
I dare you.
Or else.
Holy shit. Okay, you don't want to incur that wrath. So, I love your faces, guys. Do what you do. Stay safe, stay nerdy, and we'll catch you later. Peace, guys. Au revoir.